Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic through and through, and today, by the grace of God, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I couldn't be any more grateful. We want to welcome you to this platform regardless of what your addiction may be. You're absolutely, unequivocally, 1,000% welcome here. We support your pathway, all pathways of recovery, and whatever that may look like. We just want it to work for you. And we're just here to help and to help make sure it works for you. If you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area tonight at 7 o'clock, we want to encourage you to come on down to our Friday night crosstalk meeting. It's just a lot of fun. Matter of fact, I have a couple topics from last Friday night's crosstalk meeting that I want to get to. I'm going to talk about one of them here in just a second. And if you're not local to the area, that's okay. Do not fret. No, don't you fret. Because we're going to start our very first Crosstalk Zoom meeting, Crosstalk Online, tomorrow night, Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. So you can go to recoveryclassroom.org/XTO to get all the login information. There's going to be a big button there that you can click on, and it'll take you right into the Zoom meeting. So again, that's recoveryclassroom.org/XTO. Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, our very first online Crosstalk meeting. I know this is going to be a shock to some of you. It's okay. Please make sure you're sitting down. I don't want to be responsible for anybody getting injured. I went to the Waffle House last night. Yes, late last night, I went to the Waffle House, I know. And just like every other time I go to the Waffle House, I struck up a conversation with a person who happened to also be in recovery. And we started talking, and come to find out we both know this one we mutually know this one person, and we started talking about this particular person, and this person that we were talking about, come to find out, went back out. I started thinking about it, and I started playing it back in my head, and I started seeing all the telltale signs. Over time, I remember seeing Facebook posts, very, very frequently, and now I don't see them too terribly frequently. When I do see a post, you just kind of knew something was amiss, something was off, and now I don't see a whole lot of posts at all. And this person got into a relationship. Which is one of the cards that we're going to talk about. And so my first takeaway after leaving the Waffle House last night, after talking to this individual, my first takeaway was, one, that's why it doesn't fucking matter how much sobriety you have, because this person that we were talking about last night has more sobriety, or had more sobriety than what I ever thought about having. I mean, this person was sober long before I ever decided to get sober. Period. So it doesn't matter if you got 30 years or 30 days or 30 hours. All right. And I said this last night to this person. If your goal is simply to make it to the end of your day drawing a sober breath and going to sleep rather than passing out, if that's your goal, you're not alone, because guess what? That's my goal too. I don't give a shit about how much sobriety you have. I don't care if you got 30 days or 30 hours or 15 years. I don't care, because guess what? It can all just go away just like that. And this person that we were talking about last night, it reminded me. That was the first takeaway. The second takeaway, as I alluded to, I do remember seeing this person get into a relationship. Now, in all fairness, this person had been in recovery for a really long time. So, okay, I get the whole relationship thing. Let's start a relationship. Now, and that was the second takeaway I had last night when I was driving home. Did this relationship cause this person to go back out? Did this relationship cause this person to relapse? And that's one of the questions. Reminded me of this question here that came in last week's Crosstalk meeting. Why are relationships so bad in early recovery? It's not that relationships are bad. It's just we don't know how to fucking love ourselves. Let me explain. I was very codependent. You may be codependent. Some of you guys watching this right now may be very codependent. There's nothing wrong with it. It's what we do as a result of our codependency that becomes problematic. So let me get that out of the way. And so whenever I was drinking, I was very, very codependent. I was like, oh my God, my wife's going to leave me and blah, 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 blah. And I love this person, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And because I had this fear of losing this person who I depended upon for my own self-value and self-worth, I thought if I lost this person, well, then I was going to be shit, right? And so why are relationships so bad in early recovery? Well, the problem is we haven't figured out how to love ourselves again. And that's the whole point of recovery. The whole point of recovery is not just to get sober, but it's learning how to love ourselves so we stop hurting ourselves. And I see it all the time. Without fail, man, I cringe. I get really concerned because I'll see somebody coming in doing really well. They're in early recovery. They're 3 months in, and next thing you know, they got fucking engaged on Facebook. And I'm like, what the hell? Oh, I love Billy or I love Susie. They're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm like, you don't know how to fucking love them because you don't know how to fucking love yourself. I was 6 months into my sobriety before I realized that I didn't even love myself, that was part of the problem. That's part of the reason why I was drinking so much, because I didn't even love myself. I was 6 months in before I realized that. So I had to learn how to re-love myself. And like I said, whenever I was drinking, I was so codependent. I was so codependent, and meaning I was dependent upon somebody else making me feel about me the way that I couldn't feel about myself. Let me explain. I hated myself. I hated who I'd become. I hated the person I was. I had no self-value, self-esteem, self-worth, no nothing. I was a piece of shit. And that's how I felt about myself. And since I couldn't make myself feel good about me, I had an idea. I'll turn around and I'll go out here and I'll make somebody else feel good about them. Okay, that's fair. But only with the expectation that they will turn around and make me feel about me the way that I couldn't make myself feel about me. That's the most asinine thing I ever heard, but yet I did it. And that's more confusing than blue giraffe nuts, for all I know. I mean, it's the most insane thing I've ever heard, but yet I did it. That's what happened. See, early in recovery, we haven't even learned, hell, half the folks, half the time, they haven't even figured out that they don't love themselves. They'll get 3, 4, 6 months under their belt and they're going, oh man, I'm good. This person that we were talking about last night, they had many, many years. Now, in all fairness, I can sit here and tell you, I don't know if the relationship is what drove this person to go back out. I don't know. I'm not that into that environment, if you will, or that scenario. So I can't tell you for sure. But that was a question that I drove home with. I wonder if the relationship had anything to do with it. Maybe, maybe not. I do know that this person had many, many years of sobriety under their belt. So, I don't know, it's only speculation. But at the end of the day, it warrants the question, why are relationships so bad early in recovery? And the reason why is because you haven't learned how to love yourself. You may still have some of those codependent attributes, characteristics that you haven't quite learned to overcome. And that was part of the process for me in my recovery is I learned how to love myself. I learned how to be comfortable by myself. I learned how to be comfortable and I learned how to love this guy instead of damaging this guy night after night, day after day. See, I got comfortable with me. I learned who I am. I learned the things I liked, the things I didn't like. And I learned at the end of the day that I'm not a bad guy after all. So, I know my wife and I talk about it all the time. Our recovery is the most single important thing in the world to us. First, my recovery is more important to me than my relationship with my wife. Yep, I said it, and she'll tell you the same fucking thing. My recovery is more important to me than my relationship with my kids. They'll tell you they understand that. They understand it. Our recovery has to be the single most important thing in our lives. If we don't put it first, whatever we put in front of our recovery, we're going to lose it, relationships included. So I want to encourage you today, learn how to love yourself. Take time, learn how to live with yourself. And with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Remember, tomorrow night's Crosstalk meeting at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom, recoveryclassroom.org/XTO, and tonight's Crosstalk meeting at Pea Ridge United Methodist Church. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys keep me sober, and I couldn't be any more appreciative. We'll talk again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.